Okay, let's restart that because there was some mic check issues. But yeah, hey, what's going on? This is Brian, aka Uncle B, and I'm the men's performance coach with Goodwood, and you are here with Goodwood Office Hours. Thanks, Rob. Rob in the house. Identified the mic issue. Yeah, we got that settled. But yeah, today we're talking about bedroom control. And we're going to use our guy, LeBron James, to talk about that because it's really sort of important that we have the right mindset when we're going in and we're talking about our own level of health, overall health, sexual health, dealing with erections, erectile dysfunction, all those different things. That's what we're going to be talking about today. If you have any questions, please go into the comment section and let me know what those are. And let me know, where you are, what your name is, and where you're representing. Because today we're really going to get into it. We're going to go deep a little bit because when we talk about control, I often say the meaning of life. The meaning of life is control. If you look in Wikipedia, they have a whole bunch of other things that look confusing to me. But when it comes down to it, what the meaning of life is when we say it's control is because when you were born, you have no control. By the time you're 2 or 3, you got so much control so quick that you're out of control. By the time you're 10, you're in control enough that you can stay at home by yourself. By the time you're into your teens, you're back out of control. And get into your 20s and your 30s, you're talking about control again at a higher level. In your 30s, you got so much control. You're like, ooh, this is a lot of control. 40s is like, oh my God, this is too much control. 50s is like, I'm trying to keep control. 60s, you're trying to hold on to as much control as possible. So that's the reason why we have to talk about control, because when it comes to men's sexual health, it's like we have to be in control all the time, especially as you get older. And we'll get into that. Once again, for those who just joining, this is Brian with Goodwood University Office Hours, talking about men's sexual health. And today we're going to talk about, that level of control. So on the chosen king, apropos, we're going to be talking about being able to control your erections. When we talk about guys and their sexual health, erections on demand is, that's where you want to be at a minimum. Obviously spontaneous and morning erections are above that. But at the very least, you want to be able to say, hey, she's coming over. I can control myself when it's time to get up, all that other kind of stuff. And so we want to make sure that that is understood. What is the process of doing that? Because if you want to keep your erections for the rest of your life, then you need to be dialed in, especially as you get older. And that's one of the reasons why we're talking about LeBron James and what his example. And often people talk about who's the greatest of all time. And I always say it's like this. I consider Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. It's easy because the word in there is time. And he's proven that you can do this over a sustained period of time, greatness over a sustained period of time. Michael Jordan took his retirements. It's just that simple. He was great for 3 years, had to take a year break. Great for another 3 years, had to take a year break. So it's not all the time. But when it comes to your level of sexual health, you can't take a year off. In fact, if you take a week off, I have a trainer and he will say, yeah, if you're going to go on vacation, you still have to carry it over. Even when you go on vacation, some people think, oh, I'm on a vacation, so I'm going to do whatever, eat whatever. And it's like, yeah, you could just mess up a whole month or two what you were actually doing. So that's really important. If you're trying to stay at the top of your game, you have to do like LeBron James does. And one of the things that he talked about is actually going through and making, he just won a championship, went on vacation and was working out while on vacation right after the championship. And we have to have that same mindset, because if you're trying to get your life onto autopilot, you're trying to have erections without ever needing to worry about them again, then you have to be able to have your body set on autopilot. What you think, the way that you act. Growing up, I would see people, they would just be out jogging every day. They'd be working out every day. And I'd see other people who just didn't ever do that stuff. And it was like, what is going on? What is the difference? It's really just mindset. That's it. And also a mindset over a period of time. So it doesn't become hard to, like, go to sleep on time. It doesn't become hard to do the right things. So that's what this whole process is about. That's what we're talking about, is how do you get yourself in that mindset where you don't fall off. There is no falling off the wagon. And so we want to make sure that you have that. And one of the things that, if you look at the greatest players, period, they always have this particular mindset, which is that they hate losing. Now, it may not sound like the greatest type of mindset to have, because it doesn't sound positive. You're saying you hate losing, but that's necessary because, if you're feeling that sting, what I often say to people is that if you're looking to get healthier, then remember what you did that messed you up. So, for example, for me is salmon. I used to love salmon, eat it all the time, not a problem at all, and then hadn't had it for a while. This has been actually, it's about a good 5-6 years ago. Hadn't had it for a while. Then I ate some, and my knee just blew up. It was like, wow, I'm actually allergic to salmon now. Some people have said, hey, was that, just a one-time thing, or are you actually allergic to it? I tried it again, and yet the same thing happened. And so, the pain of that is what made me say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. That's the part that, you have to get into, in terms of like, hey, unfortunately, what happens with a lot of people is they wait until something really bad happens, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to wait till, like, oh, I'm supposed to do something physical and I'm not prepared for it. As I always say, for guys, our challenge in life is like, hey, if you're walking down the street with your 2-year-old and somebody ran up and grabbed them and took off, can you run the 2 blocks to catch it? That's necessary if you're trying to get to a better state. So understand that thought process. That is really necessary to take care of yourself over the long term. And you don't want to wait till something happens to you, wait till a relationship goes bad, wait till things aren't working out the way that you want it to, that you get into that. And, a lot of times people will talk about, it's like, is it scary to, someone made the point. It is not success that people are afraid of. It's the steps that it takes to be successful, to do that continuously over and over and over again. That's the most important part. So it comes down to your beliefs. If you believe being in shape is the most important thing, then that's something that you'll do. If you don't believe that, fitness is something that you have to hold on to every day, you're going to run into problems. So that is something that is important for everybody to understand. You have to have the mindset, even in, sometimes it's a little bit negative to think about, what am I supposed to do to keep my sexual health together? But get upset. A lot of people use being upset to their advantage, and that's because it works. There are a lot of guys who are like, yeah, you know what? I had this girlfriend, and she stepped out on me, and it's because I was too small, I was too big, whatever that situation was. And they get themselves together. And it's like, don't wait for that situation to happen. You need to be locked into that right now. And so my question to you is, do you do that? Are you on that path that you need to be? And what do you need to dial into that so that you don't have any problems? And once again, this is Brian, aka Uncle B. This is Goodwood Office Hours. This is what we talk about. We just talk about men's sexual health and what you can do to get better. If you have any questions, go ahead and put that into the comment section. Because we want to make sure that you don't have any problems with your erections. Our goal is to get all guys to have to a point where you have erection on demand for the rest of your life. So, I mean, really what it comes down to, if you want to change your, if you want to get to complete erection control, it's about changing your mindset. It's about getting things done. And man, Chosen King, I needed to hear this. Yeah. We all need to get that reminder that, this counts. You don't get too many chances in life for certain things. If you want to have a good relationship, if you want to have that good health, a lot of times people will wait until something happens before they act. It's like, let's not wait. Let's be proactive in what you want to do, because if you want to get better, you have to start the habit of being better, and having that habit of being better is repetitive. I mean, it's boring. Even times that you don't want to do things, you still do it. And that's the reason why the mindset is the most important part. So, and once again, if you got any questions, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. Because the other thing that's necessary for us to understand is when you are getting into that point where you're not locked in, what are the ramifications of that over the long term? And a lot of times we don't think about it. We just go about our life, and we don't think about what we need to do to make sure that we don't have, we're not passing on issues to our kids. You know, a lot of times, I mean, I see this all the time. You know, we're now at a point, we're now at a point in human history where we have people believing that a fruit roll up is actually a fruit. You know, they'll send the kids to school with fruit roll-ups. They'll send the kids to school with, a totally processed lunch. And, I get it. We've been doing this for years, but the process has to stop now so that we can get to the point where we don't have to worry about our kids having issues, because right now we are there. We are there at that point where this is supposed to be the first generation of children who will not live as long as their parents. So you as a parent, hey, go ahead and set that example of like, this is the things that we established as habits. Whether if your child sees you walking all the time, they may end up being a walker. That ended up happening with me. My father would walk every day. He would just walk. He was known in the neighborhood for walking. And me later on in life, that's what I do. That's one of my things. I just get out and I go walking. And that level of thought process comes in early. So go ahead and set the example, be the example. Don't wait for problems to arise. Because actually the truth of the matter is a lot of the stuff that we need in terms of the information is there. You're here on YouTube. There are other people out there on YouTube who actually give good information. But if you're looking at cat videos, instead of looking at the good information, what are you really absorbing, and what ends up happening with your life? So, if you look at a person like LeBron James, what is he doing over the long term? Obviously, we're talking about a completely different situation in terms of all the help that he's getting. But, it's all natural. It doesn't have to be as intense as he does it. You don't need cryotherapy. Just take a cold shower. You're not a professional athlete, so you don't have to work out all the time. But how often are you working out? Is it paying off for you because you are consistent? The number one thing of any level of success is consistency. What are you doing over and over and over again? Even when you're tired, especially when you're tired, that's when the breakthrough starts to happen, because consistency is like a muscle. You have to use it. If you're not consistent in one area, it bleeds over to another area. However, if you're consistent in a lot of areas, that bleeds over as well. So you end up in a much better situation. All right. Got a question for you from the Chosen King. I have a question, Uncle B. So to keep a strong erection as a 33-year-old man, what's the best diet and workout to keep a strong erection? All right. And also he says, because I'm brand new to all this, and I've seen my erection changing as I get older. Yeah. That's what happens. That is definitely what happens. So let's go ahead and break this down. So at 33, a couple of things you need to understand. One, your body is, as always, is changing. So your testosterone levels have been going down roughly since the age of 21 by 1%. And depending on your lifestyle, that process can speed up. So as you get older, it's important to tighten in. I often say this is a theory, in that if you look at the way that humans function, when we're born, we have a whole bunch of energy. We get, obviously you're not as strong as you are as an adult, but you get a whole bunch of energy to get to the point of 18, 19, 20. Then after that, it's sort of like nature says, hey, we gave you all the energy. Your parents took care of you, all this other kind of stuff. Now you have to figure everything out and implement it. And that's where we're at right now. You're at that point where it's like, hey, all the good habits, all the bad habits, you as an adult, you have to erase it. All the good habits, you have to start bringing it in. So, so for strong erections, what's the best diet? Plant-based is a good start. And, obviously, you can use vegan to transition over to plant-based. I'm not saying that you have to go all plant-based. I am saying that plant fiber works best for your gut And when you're talking about your immune system uh, and everything else, realize that a weak erection is a sign of a weak immune system, and there's a problem somewhere. So you want to get as much fiber in. I often tell guys, just go ahead and before every meal, just eat a salad. I eat salads for breakfast. It actually works. I mean, it just, it keeps my hunger down. I have a little bit of black coffee, a salad, and it keeps my hunger down. I mean, obviously, for if you have we've been used to a heavy breakfast, this is a little bit more difficult. It took me a while to get to that point, but plant-based is definitely going to help because that fiber, that roughage, not only does your gut bacteria like it, but what it also does, it helps your body produce more nitric oxide. One of the things that's missing, especially as you get older, your nitric oxide production goes down. For what nitric oxide really is it's a little gas that just is released by your blood vessels, and it just pushes blood through. So when you breathe in and when you hum that, you're actually producing nitric oxide. And there's different things like drinking beets. There's nitric oxide pills, well, not pills, but powders and things like that. Once you have that going, that's going to help your body because think about it. Your heart is all the way up here and your penis is down there. So it's not just your heart beating, it's also that nitric oxide. So you want to have that going. Plants help with that. As far as the workout is concerned, we always recommend high intensity interval training. Especially as you get older. And basically, that's where you're working out for, you can do like 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, back to 30 seconds of work, back to 30 seconds of rest. People have different intervals for what they want to do with high intensity interval training, but it's really important that you get whatever type of training in, whatever movement. Your body's designed to move. Unfortunately, we live in an environment where we sit. We sit for long periods of time, and think about it, especially as a man, you're folding your body in half. And it's like, that hip cradle, that, that's where your erections are. So guys are typically smaller in terms of their erections just because they're sitting and there's less blood flow. So yeah. Yeah. And, Chosen King, as he says, your erections change as you get older. One of the other things you need to understand, fellas, as you get older, it actually shrinks. Yeah, and that's scary. It's called penile atrophy, and ask any nurse at an old folks home. They got to change diapers or whatever they are. It's like, yeah, this 20-year-old, when he was 20 years old, he was probably packing. When he's 80 years old, not so much. So that's what you have to be careful of. All right, so let me holler at BK right quick. It says, I'm 18. I'm trying to stay on the right track with my erections. I learned that sleep matters a lot. I go to sleep pretty late, around 12, but still aim for 7 to 8 hours. Is there a recommended time to sleep? Okay, so that's a very good question. And it depends on your chronotype. And your chronotype is really just the type of person you are who with sleep. So for example, my chronotype, I'm an early riser. Some people, for me, it's like I can get up at 4 or 5 o'clock, no problem. In fact, I will wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock regardless of what time I go to sleep to a point. And for other people, they're not really focused and locked in until like 10 o'clock. And other people, it's not until the evening time. And I think that's really, that was nature's way of saying, hey, who's going to stand watch? We got a group of humans here, and we got lions, tigers, and bears. Who's going to stay and watch? And so, it could be a dozens of reasons why. But as far as your sleep is concerned, the thing to understand fully is that it's really about the quality of sleep. And so there are a list of things. I did a video. Check out the video library. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, and notification bell, all that good stuff, so we can get some more of this information to you. But I did do a video. Go ahead and check that out. I did a couple of videos talking about sleep because it's that important. Your testosterone levels go up while you're asleep. And if you don't get good sleep, if you get like just 4 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep or less, you're actually increasing the amount of cancer cells in your body, and your immune system is going down. So obviously, neither one of those situations are good for your erections. And so, it's really important to get your sleep in on a consistent basis. And that's part of, whatever time you're going to sleep. I mean, let me just say whatever time. whatever works best for you. That's one of the things you have to sort of experiment with, because there is no direct tell for what your chronotype is. It's just what your pattern is. Some people have a horrible time waking up first thing in the morning. Me, not a problem at all. And so once you know that, you can just start being as consistent with going to sleep. Your body likes patterns. Your body works on a rhythm, just like the sun goes up and goes down. Your body works just like that. It likes patterns. So find the right pattern for your sleep. And also, there's certain things you can do. You can take a cold shower before you go to sleep. You can, set the temperature at 68 degrees. That's optimal for sleeping. Me, I have a sleep mask because there's a lot of light that comes into my room at night. And one of the things that people don't realize, what they call your third eye, your pineal gland, is right here. It actually detects light. I guess that's one of the reasons why they call it the third eye. But you know how that thing where you can close your eyes and you still have light coming in, because this that film is that skin is sort of slim there. It's supposed to be able to detect like, hey, there's more light, so I can wake up. But if you're dealing with light from ambient light, if you have light coming from your TV, don't sleep with your TV on. If you have light coming on from your alarm clock, your body is detecting that and is trying to wake itself back up. We're supposed to be sleep outside on the ground and no alarms. The sun wakes us up. That's optimal. But of course, that doesn't work in our normal lives. Uh huh. Yeah. Chosen King. Thanks, Uncle B. I hope to link with you one day. Man, that's scary to know that we shrink. God bless. Yeah, yeah. Once I found that out, it was like, oh no, oh no. That's the reason why you have to be in your game. That's the reason why we, like I said, we're talking about LeBron James and talking about consistency over a long period of time. One of the things, like just did a video release talking about penile erections. Talking about penis enlargement. And someone had sent me a link, and it was like to some pills, so CBD gummy. It was like, oh yeah, permanently get rid of erectile dysfunction permanently. There is nothing permanent about your body. Maybe your height, if you don't shrink. Your eye socket size, your finger size, most of that stuff is going to stay the same. But as far as the rest of your body, that is going to change. So you have to be prepared for that. Uh huh. So yeah. Hey, you're welcome, BK. Yes. So yeah, if you have any other questions, go ahead and hop in and let me know. Just a couple of things to let you guys know. We're coming up with some more exciting things. I have to apologize. I normally was coming regular with this. We had an issue with YouTube and their algorithm. They were trying to hide us, more or less. But we are going to be doing a podcast. Our first podcast will be coming out on February 13th, where we'll be talking about what you should do for to get ready for a day where you're going to be having, you're going to have sex. Sometimes that happens on Valentine's Day. It's like, what can you do? I often talk about the fact that Valentine's Day is by far one of the worst days for men, because you're already coming in stressed. If you already have sexual health issues, coming in stressed, and then you get the stress of trying to be romantic. Then you got the stress of give somebody chocolates. You may eat the chocolate yourself. Your testosterone level goes down. You go eat, go to a good restaurant or whatever. You have a steak and lobster and, potato, and the steak and lobster actually make your blood more sticky. So you have less blood flow, causes inflammation, less blood flow. And then you have a sweet that's going to lower, a dessert to lower your testosterone. And if you have any drinks, that's a poison. And then you're going to have sex after all of that. Not a good look. Not a good look. So we'll be talking about that. So we have the podcast coming out. We still, every Thursday at, 12:45, basically, we always have a video coming out with some more information. And so, this is always a good thing. We want to make sure you keep coming back and getting as much information as possible and using it. All right. All right. So, Chosen King, how can I build my semen back up stronger? Or if you can make a video on that one day. Yeah, I'll definitely make a video. But the answer is zinc. So yeah, zinc is, you can get a zinc supplement. Don't get the very high amount of zinc. You just want to use it. Just be consistent with it. You overdo it with zinc pills, and you can cause some problems. Make sure you eat it with food, so it doesn't break down in your stomach too bad, cause issues. But yeah, that's oddly enough, that saying is like, if you jerk off too much, you lose your vision. Well, when you jerk off, you do lose zinc, and zinc is necessary for healthy eyesight. Who knew? there's some there is some truth to that. So yeah, and also, holding back semen retention, for that particular moment will increase the amount of semen that is produced. And so, yeah. If you want to look like a porn star and everything like that, and you just, yeah, make sure you take some zinc in, and yeah, wait for that right time when you want to show off, and you'll be able to show off. So yeah, yeah, guys, we're coming up on the end of this half an hour here. Please go ahead, if you got any last minute questions, hit me up. We're talking about men's sexual health. Nothing is off the table. We always got some interesting questions going on here. And me personally, I like doing this because I learn every time I get into this situation. But yeah, we are going to be coming out with the podcast next Thursday, 1 p.m. We got the video coming out. If you would like we do have a coaching class that's going to be coming out soon. Like the chosen king. Yeah, I'll be able to work with you, working with people individually. What are the things that's going to be different about this coaching than other coaching courses? Because there are not too many coaching courses about men's sexual health on a holistic level. And on top of that, what we're doing that's different from everybody else is that we stay in contact with you consistently, whether it's text, whether it's phone calls, whether it's just a weekly, 3 times a week, or we're calling you daily. I mean, what ends up happening, I can give you all the great information and everything like that, but the execution of it can take a long time if you don't have somebody sitting there with the pushing. There's a reason why, every professional sports athlete has a coach, because that's the person that's going to push you and can see things on the outside. It's like, oh, okay, so you got this far. All right, we need to change. Sometimes people will get into a routine. It's like, yeah, I do my 50 push-ups every day. And it's like, how long you been doing that? Well, for the past 10 years. It's like, bruh, you need to go up to 75. You need to increase. You need to change, add a weight vest. Whatever that answer is, that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, we're looking forward to launching this coaching. I will keep you informed. We've already released it to people who are on a list. Oh, by the way, you can go to givegoodwood.com. I am the men's performance coach for Goodwood. But if you go to givegoodwood.com, we have our email list there. Sign up for the emails. You can also get Goodwood or other supplements that can help. And we're going to have the coaching there soon, so for you to join in. So yeah, this has been great. Thanks for all the great questions. Shout out to BK. Shout out to Chosen King. We'll be coming out again soon with another office hour. And hey, I appreciate you. Any last questions? We good? We good? We good? Yeah. You got it, sir. All right. So there we go. Hey, this is Brian, aka Uncle B, saying get your game up and go hard. Peace out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.